Good afternoon, Avjit. Thank you for joining in today's mock interview. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm fine, sir.
Great.
I'm doing well.
So, thank you so much. So, you have applied for a position of web developer. We would like to know something about yourself.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to talk about myself. My name is Abhijit Udawan. I completed my graduation in the year of 2017 in the stream of electronic and telecommunication. My college of MGM College of Engineering, Nanded. After my graduation, I worked in telecommunication field near about 3 years. Uh, at the at that time, I found my real interest towards the web development and coding. I searched about web development on Google and watched video on YouTube also. Then I thought it's quite interesting. Then I started to learn about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I completed some project also. This is
Right. So, as we are hiring for a 1 year experience candidate, and I can see in your resume that you have got an experience of 1 year as well. So, I would like to know that how was your experience? Means, uh, how was your days when you were working in your previous company?
uh, sir. I'm working in my previous company as a web developer. At that time, I worked in different projects. I completed some project in on time.
Okay,
I learned lots of new things in that time also.
great. That's good to hear. So, why you are looking for a change at the moment if everything is going good?
So
Okay, no issues. So, in the previous company that you had been working, so you were working individually or you were working in a group?
I work individually, and uh, at some project I work in group also.
Okay. So, do you consider yourself a team player?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, also, I would like to know that there are two types of ways in which you can definitely succeed in your life. One is by doing hard work, and another is by doing smart work. So, in which category do you see yourself?
As earlier said, I changed my background from telecom to uh, web developer. That time I have to do hard work because technology of web development is new for me. That time I do hard work, and now after a 1 year experience, I do smart work to complete project on time.
Okay, so smart work, what is the definition of smart work for you?
Smart work means doing a work in a given period of time, as well as uh, without any discrepancy.
Okay, so as you mentioned that you switched your domain from telecom to web development. So also we would like to know that how quickly do you adapt to new technologies?
For learning of new technology like CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, I have to spend some time that I spent earlier. After that, uh, I do job.
Okay, and if required, suppose a situation comes in our company that you might have to change your role or position. Uh, for a project. Will you be flexible to do it?
If company demand it, then I have to do that. But if at the certain time, if any project comes about a web developer for a web developer, then I definitely join that team for a web developer.
No. Suppose, for example, there is a project that right now demands you need to work as a, suppose, say, technical support, and that is the duration of, suppose, say, 6 months. And we cannot keep you in bench for a long period of time, and you have given your consent to move into technical support. And in between, suppose we get a project in web development, but you are right now being allocated to work as a technical support. So what will you do in that scenario when you know that there is another web development project that is going on, but uh, you are right now working as a technical support? So what will be your thought on that?
When company demand, I work as a technical support. When company demand me to do work in web developing, that time I do work as a web developer.
But company here does not demand you to work as a web developer. Company has already shifted your position to a technical support. And later, after you join as a technical support, later that project comes up as a web development. So what will you do? So will you continue working in the technical support, or will you be trying ways to move into web development? So what will be your thought process?
I will go to my manager and ask him to give me an opportunity to work in a web developing project.
Okay, so you'll be speaking to the manager so that he can give you a movement from the technical support to web developer. Okay, thank you for sharing your thought on that. So there is an interesting question that I would like to ask you. It's a very hypothetical question. So if you won a 10 crore lottery, what will you do with that?
Okay, I will accept that, and I will do some charity, because this is a lottery. This is not my hard-earned money. So I will do some charity, and I will start an NGO to do to help COVID relative patient, because today in India COVID cases are rising, and there is a uh, need to help COVID patients.
That's so good of you that you are thinking for the people. Thank you very much for being a responsible citizen as well. Thank you. So we are going to start with the technical round. So if you want, you can have a glass of water in between.
I'm fine.
Thank you. Right. Thank you for being patient. So we are going to start with the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript related question. So my first question will be based on a CSS question. So I would like to know that what are the different types of ways we can apply CSS to an HTML?
There are two types of ways. Two types we can apply CSS for HTML, that is internal and external. By creating a CSS file and attached with HTML pages, we can do CSS style to HTML page. And there is a second option that we can create a style icon, a style tag, and in that tag we can give CSS style.
So you are mentioning that there are two different ways of creating CSS file. That is, one is inline and one is external, right?
External, yes.
Right. So suppose if I am styling an element using inline CSS, and if I have to override that inline CSS by using an external CSS, will you be able to do that?
No, sir. Inline CSS can't be override by external CSS, but external CSS can be override by inline CSS.
Right. So I think you have heard of pseudo selectors as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are the different pseudo selectors we have?
Young child, first child, last child, after, before, that is a pseudo selector we use in CSS.
Okay. So when do we use pseudo focus in case of pseudo buttons?
For focusing the button, we use pseudo focus element.
What is the purpose of that?
When a cursor will go on button tag, that time we need to change some CSS. For that we use pseudo focus and over CSS.
Okay. So Amol, do you want to ask any question related to it?
Yeah. I will ask. So, Abhijit, tell me, what is meta tag in HTML?
Meta tag using HTML use in a head element for giving the information to browser about HTML page.
Can you provide an example of meta tag? Do you have any example of meta tag?
Yes, document type HTML is a meta tag.
Is a meta tag. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
What is need of document type HTML in HTML page?
To convey to browser a given document type is in the form of HTML.
Means if I miss that tag, then I'm not able to execute HTML page. Is that like this?
If we miss that tag, then it goes on quad element. That is that time browser act whatever he want to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So tell me, what are the media element tags which are introduced in HTML5?
Audio video tag is introduced in HTML5, whereas in HTML4 there is a flash manager used for audio video.
Okay. Yeah, going to the CSS. Can you please tell me the difference between padding and margin?
Yes, sir. Padding is defined as the difference between a border to the element, and a margin is defined as the above section after border.
Okay. Do you know viewport in CSS? What is viewport?
Viewport means viewing port of a user. That is a desktop user for desktop or laptop.
What do you mean by port of user?
It means we were without clicking a button or without scrolling a mouse, we were can see we were see the data that is the viewport of that element or
Okay.
that web page.
Yeah. Do you know Z-index property in CSS?
So here index. Sir, give me a second. I will try to remember that. You can ask me another question after I
Yeah,
will.
you can take your time. Later on, you can tell about that. So, one last question of CSS from my side. What is the need of CSS3 over CSS?
Sir, can you repeat that question?
Yeah. What is need of CSS3 over CSS?
CSS3 having some addition feature. Uh, in that case,
Additional feature, for example?
sorry,
Okay. Do you know different versions of CSS?
CSS3, CSS6.
CSS6.
Yes, sir.
Before CSS3, is there any version means between CSS and CSS3? Like CSS1, 2?
I don't know.
Okay, no worries. Okay, Deep, if you have any questions on CSS, you can ask.
Yeah. I guess you are aware of the concept of position, like position, relative, and
Yes, sir.
position absolute.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to know what is by default, what is the position of all the elements?
So by default, there is a static position of element, uh, and there is also three position, that is relative, absolute, and fixed.
Right. So suppose there are two divs, and I want to move the second div to the right hand side. Okay. So how you are going to assign the position? Whom will you assign position as relative, and whom will you assign position as absolute?
If there is a container, then I have to give a position related to that container, and which element we have to give position right. For that div, we have to give position absolute. There is another method to divide our full width into the two divs. That is the float. By using float, we can divide. We can take give one right hand side to one div and the left hand side to another.
Okay. So what is the difference?
I
Yes.
I
Yes, please.
remember, sir, about Z index. Can I
Yeah, please go.
talk about it?
Yeah, please go.
Okay. Okay. Z index is a position to the given for any element. When we give Z index -1, that time -1 element goes on yeah, come on the front side, and when we use +1, then +1 element goes backward side.
Okay.
For overlapping the content, we use the Z index.
So you mean to say if a container has got a higher value of Z index, his position is on the lower side or on the upper side?
Is position on the lower side.
Lower
Back
side.
side.
Higher index, Z index means the position is on the lower side. Okay. So last question, final question from my side related to CSS is, what is the difference between display num and visibility hidden?
when we use display none, that time it doesn't display anything. Okay, and second one is visibility hidden.
Visibility hidden, yes.
At that time, visibility hidden is used when uh, our element is present in that position, but the visibility of that element is hidden to the user.
Okay. So we'll start with the JavaScript questions. Amol, if you want to start with JavaScript questions.
Yeah, Abhijit, if I say define a JavaScript using only 3 words, how you will define?
JavaScript only 3 words.
Yeah, you have to say only 3 words, and using the 3 words, anyone can understand. Yeah, this is JavaScript.
Client server side language. Client side language.
Client server,
Client side language.
client side language. That's it.
If you giving me only 3 words, at that point I have in my mind only 3 words it come client side language. But we can use JavaScript as a server side language also. But JavaScript is developed for client side. That's why I said client side language.
Okay. Do you heard about like this some words like lightweight, object oriented?
Yes, sir.
This. Yeah. Now tell me. Now tell me 3 words. Among three, two I have already told you. Only one you have to tell.
Okay, no problem. So I think you are aware of alert box and confirmation box in JavaScript.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain the difference between these two?
When in alert box, when pop-up is come, there is only one option is there for user to click on OK button, and that's OK. And
Okay, I guess your voice was breaking up in between. Can you please repeat your answer once again?
okay, in alert box there is only one option uh, for user, and in that is OK. And in confirm box there is a two option, that is OK and cancel.
Okay, good. So what are escape characters? Escape characters. What are escape characters?
Escape character. Sorry.
Okay, if you don't know, it's fine. So have you used break and continue statements in JavaScript?
Break tag. Are you asking for break tag? BF.
Break and continue statements, yes.
I use the break tag, sir.
Okay, what are break tags?
It denotes by BR to break the line, and we start other element in next line.
Okay. So what are the different types of errors that we get in JavaScript?
That is the element not a function is lots of time the some function is a not a function is a error given lots of time.
So there are different types of errors, right? In JavaScript, what are those types? I'm asking about the types of errors. Okay, not a problem. So another question that I would like to ask over here is: have you applied? Have you used dot call function and dot apply function?
No.
Okay. So a simple question I'll ask right now: is JavaScript case sensitive?
Yes, sir. JavaScript is a case.
Can you give an example?
Yes, sir. If we declare one variable by using the name car, by using car keyword, the after some point we have to assign any value, or we have to console that. If we have to console that car, then we have to check uh, alphabet of that initialization of car keyword. If we change the alphabet, that is from uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase, then it gives a undefined error.
Okay. So Amol, if you want to ask a few questions before we end.
Yeah. So Abhijit, tell me what is difference between parameter and argument in case of function?
In a argument, we passes argument in any function. A parameter is a part of that function.
Parameter is a means. Suppose we have one definition of function. In that case, suppose if I pass variables like integer a, integer b to that function, so what do you call to that? Is that parameter or argument?
If we pass any keyword in a function, in a bracket, that is called argument, and any parameter we use in that entire function, any element we use in that function, that's called a parameter.
Okay. Okay, fine. So there is a data type called Boolean. So what are the different values which are associated with Boolean in JavaScript?
There are two values, true or false.
True and false. And what about the 1 and 0?
Yeah, it's work as a true or false.
And suppose if instead of this four true, false, and 0, 1, if I assign any other value to the Boolean variable, will that work? Suppose let's say Boolean a is equal to 5. So will that work? Okay, no worries. Can you please tell me what is triple equal to operator in JavaScript?
Triple equal to means that it's a strictly equal to operator. It's a compare value as well as it's compare type of that two element.
Okay. So, Deep, I would like to ask two more questions. One will be the practical one, and another will be theoretical. So, yeah. So, Abhijit, tell me what is the first class function in JavaScript? Okay, no worries. So, one last question from my side, and that will be a practical one. So, I will provide one code or chat, and you have to tell me what will be the output of this code. Yeah. Are you able to see that code?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, there is a variable a which stored as a string by using a double quote. Then a b is also stored in a as a string.
Okay.
So it not subtract a minus b. It gives us a nan value.
What will be the output of console.log sub?
Yeah,
Sub
it
sub
gives
variable is a minus b. What will be the output of that?
yeah it gives us a nan. Yeah,
Okay.
it gives nan also.
Okay. And what will be the output of next line? That is type of sub.
Type of sub is the string.
Okay. And what about sub one? Means value of sub one and type of sub one.
Yeah, in a minus c also we can't subtract a string one string in a second string, so it's give us a error.
Error.
Nan function.
Okay. Means console.log sub one will be nan, right? And what about the type of sub one?
Type is a string.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay. So yes. So thank you, Abhijit, for your time today. So there is one question that I am really interested to know, that where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In next 5 years uh, I have to be a web developer, a good web developer, uh, having having some responsibility of company and having some family as well.
Okay, so you want to be a good web developer in the next 5 years. So are you not a good web developer right now?
I am a good web developer, so, but I have I don't have any responsibility now. I want a responsibility, and I have to be a project manager in next 5 years.
Okay, so you want to be a project manager in the next 5 years as a responsibility you want to take.
Okay.
Great, that's good to know.
Yeah, and also Abhijit, you mentioned like you don't have any responsibility in your current organization. Then why they hired you? As you are saying, you don't have any responsibility. Because
I have responsibility.
yeah, because see, if any organization is hiring in any of the employee, then that employee should have some responsibility, right?
Yes.
So, do you have any responsibility or don't have?
I have responsibility as a web developer, but I want to do something more.
Okay.
Right. So as he mentioned that he wants to be a project manager, so I guess he wants a responsibility of an entire team rather than being a team member. He wants to coordinate with the team, I guess. So yes,
Okay.
that's good to know as well, Abhijit. So having said that, do you have any questions for us?
No, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Abhijit, for giving your time today. We'll definitely get back to you with all the feedbacks and all. And have a wonderful day ahead. Stay safe.
Thank, thank you, sir. I'm waiting for your valuable feedback.
Yeah, thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day. Bye.
Thanks, Deep. Bye.